Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Copeland. Today marks a full week since George Floyd died while in custody. The incident sparking outrage, protests, and violence across the country, but not in Utica. Utica and surrounding communities set an example. Hundreds participated in a peaceful march to protest the death of George Floyd. Local police did have concerns going in, but violence was never part of the event. News Channel 2's Brent Carney is live from Oneida Square to tell us what police think kept yesterday's protests so peaceful.
Good evening, Kristen. As you can see behind me, there are still a couple of protesters that have just come here to Oneida Square to continue protesting, but police are crediting the demonstrators themselves for yesterday's peaceful rally.
Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd!
Utica adding its city to the list of protests happening across the country in response to the death of George Floyd. Over the weekend, some protests turning to violence, including here in upstate New York, in cities as close as Syracuse. Utica police said that at first they were concerned of that happening here.
So we certainly had monitored the incidents in upstate cities like Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo. We had plans for it. We certainly had a reserve force in order. We had our partner agencies.
But police said they're thankful that it didn't.
So I would like to give a lot of credit to the protesters themselves. There was no reason for any kind of police tactics in an overhand nature. We were there simply to monitor, to make sure everybody was safe, to block off some streets if they could, if it was needed for them to march peacefully through the streets. We advise our officers that this is their day, let their voice speak and not ours. And we certainly were there to assist, and thankfully nothing got out of control that we would have to get involved in.
One of the organizers of the protest, Yadana U, spoke to me over the phone and was happy to see some of the officers marching with them in support.
I really think that it was really great for them to show their support. I think it displayed that they also want us to work together. I mean, it really showed that all of us believe in the same thing, which is justice.
We are a very open agency. We have an open door policy. If there's community issues that wish to be addressed by community members, we're always willing and able to listen to hear. If there's something they would like to set up, obviously the chief's office, the public information office, any kind of particular office they want to seek, we'll be happy to hear their concerns and see what we can do about them.
And Kristen, Sergeant Mike Curley with the Utica Police Department did say that they aren't aware of any more protests that are happening in the near future, but they just asked those organizers if they do plan a protest to make sure it was as peaceful as the one that happened here in Oneida Square yesterday. But for now, in Utica, Brent Carney, News Channel 2, and I'll have much more coming up a little later on.
Brent, thank you. Now we take you to Minneapolis.